boy shattered the champion's glove with a single punch. The next second, white powder burst into the air. That was not cotton. It was plaster. Everyone froze in shock. This champion with 400 consecutive wins had actually been cheating all along. Just 2 days earlier, the fighters suddenly noticed in a group photo that the bandage-wrapping champion Jack's hands had cracked.
缠手不是纱布吗？怎么会裂开？
怎么有点像石膏哎？
他的手也骨折了。
这样做能让对手骨折。
Because as long as before the match, plaster powder was wrapped into the hand wraps. Once the fight began, and the hands started to sweat, the powder would slowly harden into plaster, and the fists would naturally become unusually hard. No wonder when he fought him back then. The coach always felt that the opponent's punches were unnaturally heavy. He had thought it was due to special training methods, but he never expected it was actually cheating with plaster. To seek justice for his master, Frank decided to challenge Jack in public. Before the match began, the coach specifically warned Frank. At the start, the plaster had not taken effect yet. It would take 2 or 3 minutes to harden, so he had to seize that opening window. But as the match began, Frank realized the opponent was far more cunning than expected. Jack kept using a defensive strategy, not giving any chance for a direct confrontation. He even took advantage of the moment Frank threw a punch, and knocked him down with an elbow. Before Frank could react, Jack threw another punch at him, and by this time, the plaster had already become extremely hard. In just a few punches, Frank was beaten to the point he could barely stand. But seeing the trust in his coach's eyes, he endured the pain and stood up again. And this time, he chose a more traditional technique. It turned out that 2 days earlier, the coach had gathered all the seniors who had lost to Jack's cheating methods, and asked them to pass down all their signature moves to Frank without holding back, all just to reclaim their pride. In the ring, Frank put what he learned into practice, constantly combining and rearranging the different techniques taught by the seniors to deal with Jack's attacks. He used softness to overcome hardness, countering every move under the combination of techniques. Jack found it increasingly difficult to fight back. However, 2 days of training could not make up for the gap in experience and strength. Frank gradually fell into a disadvantage, but he did not give up. Instead, he switched to a more direct strategy, no longer blindly seeking victory, but aiming straight at the key point, to break the opponent's gloves. Frank copied the way Jack fought at the beginning, constantly blocking the opponent's attacks, and the ineffective offense successfully angered Jack. His punches became heavier and heavier. At the moment he threw a full-force punch, Frank seized the opportunity, using the hardest point of his elbow to tear apart the opponent's glove. The plaster inside immediately spilled out. The truth of Jack's years of cheating was finally exposed at this moment. Amid the crowd's sighs, this fake champion finally fell.